Alright guys, I want to cover a very simple topic. This is Marble Tyler here from Skilltree Gaming, and as the title says, I believe Battle Royale should not be an esport. Now, it's really just a question of opinion, choice, etc. The reason this is a whole topic in the first place is because Player Unknown himself, the lead developer, creator, etc. of PUBG, said that he built PUBG from the ground up to be an esport, which is cool. You know, it's cool seeing a game, and obviously, I don't believe it's fully built from the ground up to be esports or whatever, but it's an interesting project, and it's an interesting aspect of the game. The thing is, I don't think PUBG or Fortnite or any Battle Royale game in their current state should be an esport. There's a couple of reasons why. First of all, let's talk about esports or even regular sports in general. What's similar about them? Well, generally they have even starts. Now, even doesn't exactly mean everyone on the same side has the same thing as the opposite side. For example, let's take a look at hockey. In hockey, there are 6 players, and one of which is the goalie. They have sticks, they have ice skates, and they have pads, and they're completely even. You know, in the beginning, it starts right in the middle. They're balanced. It's even starts. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be completely even. Let's take Overwatch, for example. Overwatch, you're playing competitive, you have a team of different heroes and defenders and etc. That doesn't mean that they're completely even starts, but what is even are the choices. Each side has the same choices to all the characters, so while they might not be an even start, and one team might be completely lopsided with advantages, it was their choice to have those disadvantages. Obviously, the game balancing aside or whatever, it's their choice to have those disadvantages or advantages, and they have even starts. And on top of that, it's simple. The goal doesn't change, you know, and going back to hockey, the goal post doesn't change. It's always just get the puck inside the goal. For going back to Overwatch, it's get the transport to the end, or it's defend the base or capture the points, or whatever it is, whatever the game mode is. It's simple, never really changes, it's always consistent. And it focuses on player skill. That's why esports happen, is because who is more skilled at said game, at said sport, at said whatever. So, of those things, what's wrong with Battle Royale that it just doesn't fit these pictures? Well, first of all, it's just heavily randomized. The first thing is the weapon drops, alright? In Fortnite, there are loot boxes that may or may not spawn in a bunch of different locations. The locations are always the same, but if they spawn and what they spawn are always different. For example, they might spawn a shotgun, a boogie bomb, porta-fort, sniper, AR, like it could be any one of millions of things. Not really millions, but tons of things. And it's randomized. So you could have the, you know, greatest drop location ever, but your drops are just giving you crap, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're coming into the game disadvantaged. On top of that, the circle closing location is randomized as well. So, you know, one team may drop on one end of the map, and they just get the advantage because the circle closes on them, and they're able to build a fort, or they're able to hunker down, find cover. In PUBG's case, you know, you find cover, you hunker down, and you get to wait the game out. People have to come to you. You don't have to move, but you can see them moving. You have the advantage. Otherwise, you know, even towards the end game or whatever, if you were both like evenly started, there's times where, you know, it's a small circle, you're on one end, the other team's on the other, or the other player or whoever, and the circle is just not in your favor. You have a long ways to go while they have maybe nowhere to go. They just get to stay, or they get to inch up into the circle, and that's all they have to do. And it's not really fair. Now, randomized isn't always bad, because if there's a random event or something that is unintrusive on both sides, skills, advantages, etc., and if something random happens, but those teams have to fight for that random thing, then it's still okay. You can have random things in esports. It just can't be random that gives other players advantages and disadvantages. On top of that, Battle Royale, in my opinion, solos isn't the greatest, you know, example of a good esport. I mean, it's just not. The reason is, it's all random. Like, there's literally nothing dynamic about the game that, you know, gives you skill besides just the gunplay. Now, I feel like the team dynamic is very interesting in Battle Royale, because when you have squads, you're sharing resources. Who's carrying what? Who's using what? Is someone more better at sniping? What's your squad compiled of? Who's got what skills? In Fortnite, is this one person or these two people the best builders? And so they focus on building forts or getting into building battles while the sniper sits back and while the shotgun guys are really good at jumping around and landing those close quarter shots. Or in PUBG, share the ammo, share the resources, work together, call-outs, all that important stuff. You know, it's a more tactical game than Fortnite. So the team dynamic is fantastic. So that being said, what could Battle Royale do to make it more of a esport? Well, first of all, as I just said, focus on the squad play. Team dynamics are always better, in my opinion, than free-for-all. That's generally why, whether it's League of Legends, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, all kinds of stuff, the highest competitive, Rainbow Six Siege, the highest competitive games focus on teams, because it's more interesting than just a single player, and that's not always the case. I mean, I myself have seen several Smash Bros. Tournaments, and that's always solo, which is fine. But in games like, PUBG or other games, it might be best to just focus on the squad play. Up next, you want a consistent weapon drop. Kind of similar to Halo, where everyone has weak weapons or essentially nothing at the start. And in Halo, obviously you start with an assault rifle, pistol, etc. Battle rifle sometimes. But there are weapons on the map, and they're consistent. You can learn the spawn locations. You can learn the spawn timers. You can learn all kinds of different little features and things, or if you have this weapon, you can use this for this advantage. You can use one power weapon to get to the next one, etc. Now in PUBG, obviously, or Fortnite, when there's random weapon drops, there's nothing you can do, and you could come out with the best weapons in the game right off the bat and have the huge advantage. And the issue is if you have two skilled players that are equally skilled, but they dropped, in Pleasant Park or wherever, they both dropped in houses, they got one loot box, okay, or one random box, whatever it is, and one person gets a sniper, one person gets a boogie bomb. You have two equally skilled players, but one's going to kill the other. Or if one person has a blue AR and the other person has a purple SMG. One has advantage over the other, and the reason it's just not fair is because, and some would argue the random elements is part of the skill. Maybe they could make the call of running away instead of engaging, but regardless, you're just giving advantages to two equally skilled players, so that the one with the advantage is going to win if they're equally skilled. That's just kind of on a level playing field. Now, the one thing I do want that Battle Royale could, focus on still, besides, squad play, and besides making consistent drops, so that way maybe you're dropping at the same location because you can get to a weapon fast, and then you know where the next weapons are and gear you need. Besides that, keep the random circles, but make it a limited amount. So what I mean by that is, say a player is, pretty good with weapons and all this stuff, it shouldn't ever be like, I know the circle's always going to go here, so I know I can hunker down and get cover. Make it so it's random where the circle goes, but maybe make 15 different final circles, or circle, patterns, or 20 or 25. Make it a finite amount. The reason is, if you have a finite amount of circles, then a really, really skilled player can master those locations. They know the circle is going to go this direction, this direction, this direction, when they see that first starting circle. That way, they can master that. They can learn their strategy. There's more things to learn and develop, and that's what would make Battle Royale a little more engaging, is player knows the circle is going to go here, so if he flanks around, he has plenty of time to get over this area, etc. It just focuses on dedicated players and more map knowledge. And the only other thing, which may or may not happen, there's a variety of new Battle Royale games coming out, and Battle Royale game modes, possible loadout starts, or hero style starts, I don't know. I've only played really PUBG and Fortnite in terms of Battle Royale. I know there's Showdown the Hunt or something like that. Obviously Call of Duty just announced their Battle Royale mode, and I'm willing to bet you're probably going in with a little bit of a loadout if you use those abilities. I don't know, we don't really know anything about it, but I mean Battlefield 1 is another one that potentially will have or Battlefield V or 5, whatever you want to say it, because we don't know what the V means yet. I'm assuming it's a 5. Regardless, it might have a Battle Royale mode too, we don't know. And they might have loadouts, they might have starts, they might have different things that once you first get in there, you know you're going in with stuff, and you have to search for equipment or ammo or other stuff, but you have a weapon to start with, and I think that's important. It's a big part of the game, big part of a lot of games, and it would just, I don't know, it depends on the Battle Royale mode. Some people disagree. Personally, I'd rather not go the loadout direction, but what do you think? What did you think about the entire video? Let me know in the comments, please, and go ahead and subscribe if you liked it, all that good stuff. I hope to see you guys in the game.